Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's lightning lunch session from Computer Science Today. If you are new to these lightning sessions, they're only going to be short taster sessions, about 20 minutes long, so you can experience what it's like to study a session with LIMU. Or if you've experienced them before, you now know the format, and welcome back. How it's going to work today is just a quick little update. We can't see you, we can't hear you, so this is your opportunity just to sit back and relax. We will have the Q&A button working throughout the entire time, so if you want to ask questions, you can do it anonymously. We just ask you don't put any personal details into it, and you can contact us at any time. I'm going to hand over now to my colleague Sylvester Craner, who's the head of the department at Computer Science, and he'll be able to talk you through emerging technologies. So over to you, Sylvester, so we can entertain the masses with our new emerging technologies.
Thank you, Andrew. Can you stop sharing? Yeah, so I can share my screen. All right. Welcome, everybody, to my small talk about emerging technologies in computer science. So my name is Sylvester Zanne, and I'm the subject head for computer science at the School of Computer Science and Mathematics at Liverpool John Moores University. And so what are emerging technologies? Emerging technologies as a term is generally used to describe a new technology, but it may also refer to the continuing development of an existing technology. So this term is usually reserved for technologies that are creating or are expected to create significant social or economic effects or impact. Like, for example, in the past, when computers were invented, it was a big boom. When mobile phones were invented, again, big boom, which created a huge impact to economy and also to society. Now, not only technologies like electronically taking, but for example, when social network was created, that's emerging technologies based on some really nice web design. So that was really good impact. So the question will be, will the emerging technologies affect me or affect you? If so, when? Or where do we find about those things? Where do we find about emerging technologies? I'll try to answer those questions during my short talk. And before we start to talk about technologies, I have to warn you that this presentation is for lazy people only. Now you can ask, is he talking about me? I'm not lazy. So I can assure you that laziness is the mother of invention. For example, in the past, Rear Admiral Grace Murray Hooper is best known for the invention of the compiler. Compiler is really important thing in computer science. Compiler is the intermediate program that translates English language instructions into language of the target computer. So it's the language that computer understands. So the Admiral, she did this, she said, because she was lazy and hoped that the programmer may return to being a mathematician. The laziness is also the father of innovation. For example, in the past, Professor John Atanasov, along with graduate student Clifford Bury, built the world's first electronic digital computer back in the late 30s. Why did he do this? He said, I was too lazy to calculate, and so I invented the computer. So now, what this talk will be about, what are the tech trends today? I'll be mentioned briefly big data, data science, Internet of Things, automation, automotive industry, autonomous cars, then cybersecurity, mobile application, business intelligence development, cloud computing, augmented and virtual reality. And then I will show you how those emerging technologies are used and taught in School of Computer Science and Mathematics at Liverpool John Moore University. So let's start with the big data and the data science. What is the data science? Data science, it's a big mathematical science combined three big approaches: mathematics, statistics, and a computer science. Because we have a huge amount of data around the globe, and we are doubling the amount of data created in the world every 2 years. How this is happening? You can imagine that for 1 single minute, okay, again, for 1 minute, about 156 million emails are sent. About 15 million text messages are sent. In about 1 minute, more than 450,000 tweets are posted on Twitter. And Facebook receives almost 1 million logins in 1 minute. All those procedures, all those email, text messages, tweets, and online logins, they creating data. And because it's big data, huge data, we call them big data. And data science is the way how to process, how to deal with this big data. So this is one type of emerging technologies that it's still developing, and it's used in many of the areas that we're using every day. Like, for example, mobile applications. Yeah? What are the mobile applications these days? Those are the supercomputers in our pockets. Yeah? And there is forecast that in 2 years' time, in 2023, 90% of the population will be using smartphones. Here is an interesting fact that Google published in 2012. They were saying that it takes about the same amount of computing to answer one Google search query as all the computing done in flight and on the ground for entire Apollo program. You probably remember Apollo program from the movie, so where the astronauts were flying around the globe. So the current smartphones and tablets contain more computing power than many of the formerly known supercomputers, which used to fill an entire room. Not only that, when I heard about supercomputers, it was about 1988. The supercomputer at that time was as large as basketball field, and the whole room had to be kept under like 23 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, some of the mechanisms, some of the electronic was not working properly. So these days, supercomputers will fit in a small mobile device. So global smartphone subscribers are anticipated to total 3.5 billion by this year. That will equate about almost 60% smartphone penetration by population. So now you can see how mobile applications development is important. So next thing is the Internet of Things. And we can call it also the connected home. I believe most of you have heard about Alexa, about Google devices, Siri from the Apple. Those are the smart agents that you can communicate with. But behind this, there is a huge amount of work based on Internet of Things. So again, a fact or a forecast that by 2024, over 50% of Internet traffic delivered to homes for appliances and devices will be done not for entertainment or communication, so excluding the phones, mobile phones, or Netflix, or Disney Plus, or any other streaming. So we're observing very fast changes in home automation, enabling people to control lights, shades, ventilation, air conditions, audio, video, and also security system and home appliances. You can set up your wash machine that it will start washing during the time you're not home, so it will not disturb by noise anybody, and so on. So Internet of Things, we can say it's top of mind technology over the last few years, and it is still developing. But it is great, but there are also some, I cannot say weaknesses, but we can say challenges. And there are major security challenges in Internet of Things solutions. So everybody must be sure that when we're communicating with the outside world, when we're asking Alexa or Google for some advice, it's all done in the proper and secure way. Now, next thing I would like to mention is cloud computing. I have quite a nice story. When I was passing by a shop with the mobile phones, there was a guy trying to sell me one of the programs and saying, this mobile has unlimited storage on cloud. I was like, unlimited storage? But there is nothing like unlimited storage, because all the storage, all the memories must be somewhere on the physical devices. So, and then I said, no, it's on cloud. It's unlimited. Well, cloud computing is the practice of using network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process data rather than local server or personal computer. So cloud computing is a huge storage, something we don't see, but it's somewhere in on the big storage places. And when we're using, for example, OneDrive or Dropbox, we can put it on OneDrive. It's stored somewhere on some storage we don't see, but we can access it from any other computers, from the mobile device. We can access it on our home computers. We can access it through some networks. So cloud computing increased popularity among small and large businesses. Why? Because the businesses, they don't need to buy devices, they don't need to buy storage, and they don't need a place to put the storage devices, the hard drives, the disk over there. They can buy storage on the cloud from some other company, and they can store all the data there in very safely manner. Now, from cloud computing, we're slowly going to autonomous driving in the smart cities. I believe everybody heard about autonomous cars or self-driving cars and the smart cities. So there is another forecast that by 2026, there will be first city with more than 50,000 inhabitants and no traffic lights. It's probably science fiction a little bit, but we're slowly getting there, because at the moment there are many cities with connect services, utilities, and roads to the internet. Like, for example, very progressive cities such as Singapore or Barcelona in Spain, they are already implementing many new data-driven services, including intelligent parking solutions or intelligent lighting. So when we arrive to the intersection and we have a red light and there are no other cars around, the red light will automatically change to green light without any delays. This technology, as you can imagine, is still under huge development, and the safety of others is still a challenge. There are issues with cars driven by humans, and so on. And there is also a problem with sign recognition, because not all the signs on the roads are very much visible, and autonomous cars are mainly based on the visibility and on the sign recognitions, so they can adjust the car conditions. Autonomous cars, autonomous things in general, so self-driving cars are not the only autonomous things. Today, all the autonomous solutions are closely related to AI to be able to interact more naturally with the environment. So autonomous things are represented as robotics, vehicles, drones, appliances, agents. There are already some services that in, for example, Switzerland, some packages are delivered by drones when the roads are not in the sort of proper and good drivable way. Robotics, some robots, they are able to decide what to do and how to do some things. Now, this all is connected with this small acronym called AI. So what is AI? I believe everybody already heard about artificial intelligence. So let me talk a little bit about AI. As artificial intelligence stands for. AI created about 23 million jobs by last year in the field like testing, programming, support, and so on. And the forecast is that the first artificial intelligence machine will be on corporate board of directors for a company. Why do we want artificial intelligence to decide it, or to be put on the board which makes the hard decisions? That's the question for the future. But the partial answer could be that artificial intelligence has access to a huge memory, and because the computers these days are very fast, the machines are very fast, they can get the information and put informations together in a very fast way. So beyond driving cars, beyond the autonomous cars, AI can learn from previous situations to provide input and automate complex future decision processes, making it easier and faster to arrive at concrete conclusion based on data and past experience. So again, artificial intelligence can get lots of information in very short time and can combine this information to make a decision. So AI is already merged with lots of emerging technologies. I already mentioned the autonomous cars, Internet of Things, but also games. When we play a game against computer, what makes the creatures, the robots or enemies, livable and playable is the artificial intelligence. Now, talking about games and some entertainment, we smoothly jumping to another emerging technologies, which is known as augmented or virtual reality. So another fact or forecast is that 10% of reading glasses will be connected to the internet by 2023. It's probably a very challenging forecast, but we're slowly getting there, because the glasses, headset, and eye tracking devices can become intelligent with eyes and vision being connected to the internet and other devices. So with emerging eye tracking technologies, devices can feed information through visual interfaces, and eyes can be sources for interacting with and responding to the information. Augmented reality goes on with active implementation in our everyday life. We can use mobile phones, we can use our tablets for very simple augmented reality. Augmented reality has been used for not only for gaming, but also for training and simulations for many years. For example, the flying pilots, they're using helmets that they can see on the glass of the helmet some information provided by augmented reality, but they can see also through the glass the real world, so they can combine both type of information to make a better judgment. Now, augmented and virtual reality is allowing us to do the immersive experience, to a live immersive experience. And another forecast is that by 2022, 70% of enterprises and companies will be experiencing with immersive technologies. So why is that? Because current experience based on artificial intelligence, augmented, mixed, and virtual reality will result in a new era of customer relationship management. So there could be some chatbots and intelligent assistant. There are already intelligent assistants like Amazon Alexa or Google or Siri from Mac, and they can recognize and react to human emotions. This is very challenging because machines, they so far are, it's very rare they can adjust human emotions. And this is the small thing which makes a huge difference. And if the machines will be able to simulate human emotions, to provide connections to human emotions, that will be a big step, huge step in emerging technologies. Now, how we can use the digital world and virtual reality, augmented reality for in industry. So far, I was mentioning games and entertainment, but when we do check the industry, we can adopt the virtual world and we can link the virtual world, virtual models with the real models from real world. And this is happening using the so-called digital twins. So digital twins become a new format of the well-known computer design representations of the real world elements, but now it's bring a new sense of digitization. So the digital twins, they show the real world in real time for monitoring and control. For example, when we have a turbine from an airplane, or when we have a oil tower on the sea, we can, for example, with the oil tower, we can simulate the behavior of the ocean, and then we can check if there is a hurricane or any big waves, how the tower will behave, if there will be any construction fails, or what needs to be done to make the tower better. When we have all the data together, all the simulations, then it's safer. It's easier to build the real thing. So we can simply create the environment for what if scenarios. So what will happen if there are some birds going to the engine? Will the engine start a fire? Will the engine stop? Will the engine proceed as normal? Those are the questions. It's really hard to test in real life, but it's really simple to test in the virtual world. So that's why we're creating so-called digital twins. Now, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, it's a huge, huge thing these days. The global cybersecurity market size is expected to reach about 241.1 billion by 2025, expanding of 11% over the forecast period. So what is cybersecurity? It focuses on protection of the network, programs, computers, and data from unauthorized access. Now, the most popular attacks are target attacks against person, advanced malware, the word hasn't been before, or ransomware, and anywhere of wares and viruses. I already mentioned the cloud computing. So the cloud as an option to strengthen security and efficiency is there. And there is a quite huge research about how to connect cloud computing and security inside the cloud computing with the security of outside world. There is still development of new technologies as the new way to embrace cyber technology, for example, machine learning as security help, and so on. Now, the last thing what I would like to mention is the computer science at Liverpool John Moore University. So I listed the 6 bachelor degrees from the School of Computer Science and Mathematics. And you can see here almost like a neural network how the degrees are connected with the trends and emerging technologies I mentioned. So when you study computer science at Liverpool John Moore's University, you will learn about big data, data science. You will learn about artificial intelligence, self-driving cars. You will learn about business intelligence, but not only that, you will learn about the basics of computer science. When you study software engineering, it's more about developing applications. So again, you will learn how to develop self-driving cars applications, how to develop mobile applications, how to use the cloud computing, how to create the digital twins, but also how to create the immersive experience applications. When you study computer games development, you will not only learn about immersive experience, augmented virtual technology, but also about mobile applications, because you can play computer games on mobile devices. But you will also learn about cybersecurity. Why? Because there are multiplayer games and the information goes over the network, over the internet, and it must be safe. Of course, there are 2 very special courses, BSc Cybersecurity and BSc Forensics, where you will learn a lot about cybersecurity and how to make our cyber world more secure. Or in forensics, you will learn how to become a new CSI agent. So that was it for today. And I have to say, like the Queen is singing, it's kind of magic to know all the stuff around. And if you join us at the School of Computer Science and Mathematics at Liverpool John Moore University, you will learn more about the emerging technologies and you will learn more about the computer science. So thank you very much. Let me stop now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sylvester. So now it's time, if anybody does have any questions at all, if you'd like to put them into the Q&A chat, and we will get them on just for you now. What I'm finally just going to kind of put up there just for anybody who's watching is obviously, hopefully you have found today's webinar useful. Do feel free to be putting your questions into that Q&A chat and we'll be keeping an eye on it. We've got 2 monitors, so if it looks like we're looking the other way, it's just because we're looking at those questions that are coming in. If you would like to find out more about our other Lightning Lunch sessions, have a little look on our virtual outreach page. They will all be going on there, so you can catch up and watch this again and again if you want to. We also have our new little micro site there for upcoming students if you want to have a look at that. And equally, we do have another computer science Lightning Lunch session coming up next week on the 18th of May. I was getting my facts right. Yeah, it is the 18th of May. So do feel free to join us for that as well. If you think of any questions after we end this, then obviously our contact details are down there as well. The other thing to say is it's important, start looking at different open days, and our open days are now bookable. So if you go and search LJMU open days, you can book onto one of our virtual ones. Our June one will hopefully be the last virtual one that we run in the mainstream like this, and then hopefully we'll be back to back face-to-face with you guys in September. So that looks like is it for the end of today. Thank you very much for everybody who has joined us. We hope to see you again soon at another Lightning Lunch Tour, or in person at your school or college, or on campus with us shortly. Thank you very much for everybody, and take care and stay safe.